We have huge news breaking in the world of crypto, and it has its impact on the markets with some of the stocks that we see over there as well. And I want to talk about them in this video. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and I was going to tell you about the new pencil that I got, but I snapped off the tip, and now it's kind of pointless. All right, Bitcoin spot ETF, which means better tracking of Bitcoin as per the markets, which also means more availability to Bitcoin, which means more demand for Bitcoin. Big stuff. We just got breaking news from that today, so I do want to share that with you in this video. I'll also tell you later how you get up to 16 free stocks using my link down in the description, then also my Patreon where you can get my access to my exclusive content and my buy and sell alerts and all my other content that's over there. For now, the SEC, it just got ruled that they must review Grayscale ETF's bid after previous rejection appeals court rules. This came out, you can see the 10:25 a.m. And remember that 10:20-ish because we're going to go through and take a look at the charts and see just the impact that something like this has. So if you don't understand the whole spot ETF thing, that really is okay. If nothing else, just take a look and see what sort of catalyst it was for the different stocks that we have, including Coinbase. So like I said, it's going to be pretty incredible for us. So back to the news here. So let's scroll down here. The U.S. may be about to get its first spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund after a federal court ruled the SEC must review its rejection of Grayscale's investments attempt to convert Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. So right now, GBTC trades on the pink sheets, and it is an OTC stock, I believe, and that means not everybody has access to it. However, that will be brought over to the broader market should they get the spot ETF, which means more access to Bitcoin, like I said, which means that we could possibly have more a liquid way to access Bitcoin and a better on-ramp between Bitcoin's prices, or a better way to track them between that on-ramp and the dollar cash amount that we have right now. And I'll show you Bitcoin's chart. Like, it responded positively to that one. And then one other thing that I want to mention about this, so let me put this back up here. The fact that the SEC actually has to go ahead and review this thing, it doesn't guarantee that we get it. However, Coinbase also is in the middle of a lawsuit against the SEC, taking on the SEC, and that was something that was very much downward pressure on their stock price when they got sued by the SEC in the first place. And so Coinbase came back out and said, you know what, we are following the rules. We are trying to be as well regulated on here as possible. We're trying to do everything by the book. It's just that the book is still being written right now. So that fight's going on. However, today's news is big for Coinbase as well. All right, so let's get over to Moomoo. There we go. And so the first thing we're looking at is GBTC, and it says pink after this. You might not be able to read it, but that means it is on the pink sheets. It is on the OTC market. And today, let's zoom in on that green candle. We also have high volume here, so high conviction back up above the 50-day. However, the biggest thing is that this is a 17% jump just by the news that we might possibly get that ETF, that spot ETF, instead of something tied to futures or tied to the holdings of this trust. Instead, it's something that is much better tracking of Bitcoin's prices, so you get more of a one-to-one match, even though it wouldn't necessarily be exact. So going over to Bitcoin's price itself, so if we go to Bitcoin, there we go, and you can see even Bitcoin, which now here, the 200-day is really important, that we actually did peekaboo above it a little bit, and so this is something that, well, even when we look at the RSI for this one, crossed over 50, so we're getting that bullish momentum. Excellent green candle day today after the extended sell-off that we get, and it is possible that we start to allay the fears of that death cross moment coming up for Bitcoin, and maybe we do end up, this is big enough news, that we do push back up over that 200-day. We're going to have to watch and see as that plays out, but being able to have better access and further demand for Bitcoin could be something very good for the crypto markets themselves. So let's go over to Mara for Marathon Digital. There we go. See how they received the news? For them, there we go, they are having, wow, a 23% day. So this is absolutely huge. Let's go to Hive because that's another one. There we are. And Hive blockchain, when we look at them, 14.24%. And I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of others that you could go and take a look at. But if you're wondering why they're popping off today, this is exactly that news. And let's look at intraday, and I can show you that as well. So I do want to stop by Coinbase just so you can see that this was also big news for Coinbase. So here we're looking at Coin, and they are currently up over 14% right now. retaking their 50-day. This could put the bullish momentum back into Coinbase stock after just the rough ride that it's had. So breaking back up above the 50-day, we currently are sitting at an area of resistance right at about $83, $84 per share. However, there is room for it to run up from there. We're going to have to watch the overall markets. That's something that's also going to be a little bit risky for us. I'm going to talk more about that in a separate video, but for right now, that's pretty cool to watch. So let's look at intraday. And right here, if I put my cursor on this, at 10:20 a.m. is where we get that jump. And even if we go to GBTC, you can see the exact moment that the news broke. And you can see that it's not just these things acting independently, that they're happening together. So this could be something that, we get a little bit of a pump in the near term, but it tells us what to watch out for going forward from here, that we really want to watch and see for further news on that spot ETF. We knew it was big before, that it acted as a catalyst before, and now the SEC is being told, hey, you guys got to review this thing already. And so that appeal going through, that Grayscale winning against the SEC, not to bring the spot ETF to us, but to further that fight to get a spot ETF onto the markets for us. Like, this is progress, and that is a good thing to see. And then also for Coinbase, it actually takes a little bit of the worry and stress off of Coinbase, and maybe it keeps us from revisiting those bottoms that we saw sometime recently with Coinbase stock. So let me put this back up here. We'll take a better look at Coinbase, because this is one I think is really going to be one of the big winners for us. And moving on from here, and I said that back in the day before we had the big crypto sell-off and everything, and I still stand by what I said. We're going to have to watch this over time to see if that risk continues to come out of this thing and it starts to really print for us back up above the 50 and the 200-day after that extended sell-off that we had. This was big news, and if we should actually get that spot ETF, excellent. If we get further wins against the SEC, that Coinbase also wins their battle against the SEC, that is also something that continue to be upward pressure for us. So this is good news. It's being received positively, and I'm very happy about it. It's good to see this, and I do trade on Coinbase. I like Coinbase, and taking away some of that risk that they're going to get regulated to the point where they don't even exist anymore, that your funds get locked up or you can't access them, or buying and selling because they got regulated away to the point where you just can't do much through Coinbase. A lot of that fear and worry goes away. So I told you I'd tell you about those free stocks from Moomoo, 16 of them by using my link down in the description. Sign up, make your deposit of $100 or more. You get your free stocks valued at $2,000 a piece. Here's how the tiers work. 5 free stocks, $400 deposit, $50 cash reward at every tier. $1,000 and $5,000 is how you get those 15 free stocks. And that 16th free stock is through getting a share of Tesla or Google with your $5,000 deposit. And then also, like I said, if you want access to my exclusive content, it is available through the Patreon. That link is also down in the description. I post my buys and sells over at the Discord that's over there. I'm putting up options courses as well. And then I just put up my NVIDIA stock price prediction, my NVIDIA earnings projection for Q3. And NVIDIA, I don't know if you looked at it, but NVIDIA is popping off today too. I said before that this should be at least at $500. And the reason that it's not is just because the market is also kind of experiencing its own little bit of turmoil. And I will talk more about that in a separate video, but holy cow, that's nice. And then also my watch list of stocks are also over there, and you can interact with me over my private Discord as well. It's a good time. I got great people over there, all very kind people, all looking for how we can benefit our portfolios the best. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.